It's kind of odd to think that a 6'2 guard from Oklahoma who plays in Atlanta and a 6'7 wing from Slovenia who plays in Dallas would have anything in common, but Luka Doncic and Trae Young will be unfairly compared to each other for their entire time in the NBA. Everyone wants to figure out who won the trade. It seems like every media outlet has trade grades up as soon as Woj hits send. And yeah, it's fun to try and figure out which players are better and which side made the better deal for the situation and their assets. It's one of the best parts of the NBA's transaction game. But I think the draft night trades have become even more polarizing because they are frequently one-sided. In 1987, the Seattle Supersonics traded their first-round pick Scottie Pippen with a 1989 first-round pick to the Bulls for Odinson Thornhice and a 1988 second-round pick and a 1989 first-round pick. Scottie Pippen obviously went on to become the second best player on 6 championship teams, and Odinson Thornhice is a name that I made up. His real name is Odin Polynice, but you probably didn't know about him either. In 1996, the Hornets traded Kobe Bryant to the Lakers for Vlade Divac, who played in Charlotte for 2 seasons before signing as a free agent with the Sacramento Kings, and I think Kobe had a decent NBA career. In 1998, the Bucks traded Dirk Nowitzki and Pat Garrity to the Dallas Mavericks for Robert Traylor. Tractor Traylor played in Milwaukee for just 2 seasons before he was traded again, and Dirk Nowitzki will soon be in the top 6 all-time in NBA scoring. And the list goes on. The Bulls traded LaMarcus Aldridge for Tyrese Thomas, the Pacers traded Kawhi Leonard for George Hill, and the Grizzlies traded Kevin Love for OJ Mayo, washed-up Antoine Walker, Marco Jaric, and Greg Buckner. After years of hindsight, it's easy to see who won those trades, but the Trae Young-Luka Doncic trade might just be the exception. Welcome to the Free Dawkins channel. I'm Nick Angstead, and let's break down Trae Young, Luka Doncic, the Rookie of the Year race, and the draft night trade we'll talk about for years to come. Set aside the fact that they don't look like they should have anything in common, Luka Doncic and Trae Young have very different games. Luka is obviously much bigger and stronger than Young, and uses that to his advantage in closed spaces. Luka uses his body to bump defenders off of him and shifts his weight extremely well to sell his step-back jumper and throw off defenses. Luka is shooting 36.3% on step-back threes this season. Trae Young is obviously much smaller and quicker than Doncic and knifes through the lane. Trae slithers through defenses and his quick release allows him to pop off from anywhere on the court. Trae is shooting 38% on threes from 30 feet or farther. Luka creates separation. Trae extorts it. If you get within an inch of Luka, he'll bump or pump you out of his space and get a shot off. If you give Trae Young an inch, he'll fire off a shot in a split second. Trae is also much more of a pass-first facilitator. Hawks GM Travis Schlenk said that Trae Young's best quality is his passing.
We've felt from day one his greatest strength was his passing ability. Yeah. His ability to pass with both hands, left and right hands, put it on the number, the ability to read pick and rolls at such a young age and see plays develop, and honestly have the courage to make some of the passes. I couldn't tell you how many times this year he's thrown a pass between people's legs. Like he sees things and then he's got the courage to actually try them.
Since the Mavs traded Dennis Smith Jr. in the Kristaps Porzingis trade, Luka is much more of a facilitator and is averaging 2 more assists per game than he was before the trade. But Luka's biggest strength is his skill at his size. Luka can post up, pull up, drive, take contact, and do pretty much anything on the offensive end. It's been fascinating to see where people's opinions have aligned since the trade went down. On draft night, when the Dallas Mavericks traded up to get Luka and the Hawks traded down to get Trae and potentially the Mavs' 2019 first-round pick, it seemed like everyone thought the Mavs would won this deal outright. And through the first 3 months of the season, they seemed to be right. On December 12th, when the Mavs and the Hawks played on ESPN, Luka was averaging 18 points, 6.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 1.1 steals, and already had some big moments that we'll get to later. While Trae's counting stats weren't far behind, he was averaging 15.7 points, 2.7 rebounds, 7.3 assists, his team was. And Trae was shooting the ball miserably, shooting 38.3% from the field, 24.7% from 3, and 78.1% from the free throw line, which is decent. The Hawks were just 6-22 and ranked second to last in the Eastern Conference, while the Mavericks were 15-11 and were ranked 7th in the Western Conference. But since that trade, Trae's shooting has kind of exploded. Since that game against the Mavs, he's shooting 43.6% from the field, 39.4% from 3, and 83% from the free throw line. While Luka has remained consistent with slight dips in three-point percentage and free throw percentage, but an increased field goal percentage, shooting 44% from the field, 34.4% from 3, and 69.3% from the free throw line. Overall, it's that consistency that sets these two apart. Luka has just been consistent all season, while Trae can get as hot as the Oklahoma Hot Lotto. This concept manifests itself in their shot charts. Trae struggles around the rim and in the mid-range, but he's good in the paint and he's average from 3, while Luka is just average anywhere on the court. Defensively, they're both bad, but Luka's size makes him a little bit more of a viable defender, when he's paying attention. Individual defensive rating isn't a tell-all indicator of how good a defender a player is, but Luka's is slightly better than his team's defensive rating, while Trae's is slightly worse. And I think that at least tells us something about their defensive impact right now. But their impact is much more easily stated on the offensive end, especially in crunch time. Only 3 rookies have played in at least 25 clutch games. That's Luka, Trae Young, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Among all rookies in the NBA, only 6 have a positive plus-minus in clutch games. Kevin Huerter, Marvin Bagley, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, and Jaren Jackson Jr. And only 2 rookies have taken at least 25 shots in clutch situations. I bet you can guess who they are. This is the category where Trae and Luka have set themselves apart from rookies like Jaren Jackson Jr., DeAndre Ayton, and Marvin Bagley in the Rookie of the Year race. There are only 23 players in the whole NBA who have taken at least 60 shots in the clutch. Out of those players, Luka is second in field goal percentage and Trae is 17th. Only 20 players have taken at least 25 threes in clutch situations, and Luka is ranked 9th and Trae is ranked 8th. And only 21 players have taken at least 28 free throws in the clutch. Trae ranks 5th while Luka ranks 20th. And finally, only 11 players in the entire NBA have attempted 60 field goal attempts, 25 three-point attempts, and 25 free throw attempts in the clutch this season. That's Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Mike Conley, Blake Griffin, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and our boys. Trae and Luka are being trusted by their teams more than some all-stars. They've both played in at least 90 minutes in clutch situations and taken a ton of shots. But Luka has been better in most facets, even if Trae's team has been better. Trae's shooting a little bit better from 3 and better from the line, but overall, Luka's hitting more field goal attempts, and he's turned the ball over less with just about the same number of assists. But both of them have had some crazy awesome moments in crunch time.
Alex Len, 7 seconds, 6. 5 seconds, Trae trying to win it, now goes up, lays it in with 1 second to go, and that ties the game.
The Mavs have clawed back from down 19. They are 2 down. Luka for the tie, and he got it! 7.2 seconds to go, and they pick themselves up off the mat.
Trae was 7, 6. Trae's going to launch from deep, it looks like. Yep, there it comes. Got it! 2.2! Atlanta goes up 124, 121.
Good to take the ball out of bounds.
I guarantee you, gotta get it in.
Oh, Gibson, he stole it, saved it in. It's a free ball, and it's a Kogi throwing it away. Now 30 seconds left. Mavs are out of timeouts. Jordan got the ball back for Dallas.
That's
Luka,
good.
he'll stop, he'll pop, he'll hit. 3-ball Dallas, 2-point lead on the road.
The screen now recovers. Gets it back from Vince. Trae puts it on the deck. He'll put up the floater and hits it. Tie game at 118.
Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
Got it.
Here in the corner, Luka goes in. How did he do it? How did he do it? That is Luka magic.
The Rookie of the Year race seemed to be locked up back in December, and it still is. Luka Doncic should and probably will be the Rookie of the Year, but Trae Young's recent explosion has helped him separate from the rest of the pack. These are the 2 best rookies in the NBA, and for more reason than one, they're going to be compared for the rest of their careers. As far as the trade though, the winner or loser might be determined based on the outcome of the Mavs 2019 pick. The pick the Mavs sent to the Hawks is top 5 protected. The Mavs are hovering around the 9th and 10th spot in the lottery standings. If the Mavs finish with the 9th worst record in the league, they'll have a 20.2% chance to keep their pick and get a top 4 pick. It's impossible for them to get the 5th pick of the draft because they only select the top 4 and then everyone else falls into place based on record. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. If the Mavs don't keep their pick, then the Hawks are going to get a pick somewhere between 9 and 12. If they can get a solid player with that pick, or even a late lottery surprise like Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, or Giannis, then the Hawks will walk away victorious. but players in the 9 to 12 range are fairly hit or miss. For every Mitchell, Booker, or Giannis, there are 5 Trey Burks or Trey Lyles, and a bunch of other guys not named Trey. As is custom during March, there's a ton of names being tossed around in that range in mock drafts. Tankathon has them taking Sekou Doumbouya, the super young 6'9 wing from France. Sports Illustrated has them taking Jackson Hayes, a 6'11 center from Texas. And NBADraft.net has them taking 6'10 center Charles Bassey from Western Kentucky. The Stepien uses a tier model to determine their rankings and has players like Bol, Quentin Grimes, and DeAndre Hunter in the range of that pick. And the Ringer's big board has Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the 10th spot. Whoever that pick goes to and turns out to be may swing this trade, but until then, we'll just keep unfairly comparing Luka Doncic and Trae Young and continue to be amazed at how well these two rookies are playing. Comment below who you think has won this trade so far, and who you think should be Rookie of the Year. Should Luka win it because of his consistency, or should Trae Young win because of this incredible stretch of late? If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the Free Dawkins channel for more breakdowns like this, and of course, the best NBA highlights on the internet. And you can follow Dawkins on Twitter @DawkinsMTA and me @NickVanExit. Thanks for watching. Boom.